Okay. The music's over the top. All right. So I feel like I'm really, in some ways, summarizing so many presentations already today, and I'm sure tomorrow. I mean, the name of the game is totally collaboration. Without that, we're not going to be moving forward. So I want to kind of piggyback on things that Marie said and others have said today, and start first by going through a quick history of multimedia, which was initially photographs and audio that we thought was really groundbreaking, but it really wasn't, of course. When we had interactive projects with Flash, then we did video, which we thought was a new thing. Obviously, it's not a new thing. And then we don't have Flash anymore. And then we had the backpack journalist that was supposed to do everything. And we realized that doing a little bit of everything has merits, but in terms of doing really quality work, that was difficult. Now the term multimedia, what does it even mean anymore? And so what do we have? Where are we now? And one of the things, the reason I wanted to give this presentation is I worked at a very specialized program of very high quality photojournalism. And I was frustrated that we weren't doing enough collaboration, that we were doing these great stories that basically ended on Vimeo. At the same time, I was seeing other collaborative projects where the quality of the journalism suffered because there were too many mediums or the wrong mediums used, that there was this pressure to do more. And so I think there's some kind of happy medium. And so that's why I feel strongly about moving forward and collaborating sort of what I call across classes. So if we think about what a really good storyteller or a modern storyteller is, this person recognizes that we do certainly have multimedia. We have multi-mediums. We have different ways of telling the story. This is nothing new, right? But not all of the mediums are necessary. We have to know what all of their strengths are. We have to use them. I mean, just like Stephen said earlier, just because we have virtual reality or 360 video doesn't mean that all of a sudden all video needs to be 360 by any means. That would be a terrible decision. So we have to look for partners that specialize. So I think it's important to recognize what you specialize in. And if what you specialize in is writing, then that is great. Then partner with people that do other things well. I think the problem with what's happened is we feel like we have to get into every new medium that comes up, and we feel like we're falling behind if we don't. And I think what happens is our students end up suffering because they don't really get what we can provide them as specialists at the university level. The modern journalist really is a collaborator. They know, just like what Maria said, they know how to work with people, and they do it in a real world setting. And they know how to seek out the people. So they know enough about little things that they know how to find who they need to work with. And I think our role is to set that up for them. One way that we can do that is we can do that in a classroom, right? We've all had the class, whether it's a writing class or a photo class or a video class or some collaborative class where we say, okay, you guys as new journalism freshmen are going to be data journalists, and you're going to shoot video, and you're going to do virtual reality video, and you're going to do photography, and we're going to use a WordPress, and we're going to build it online, and we're going to do everything. And so there's some good things about that. We do get a little taste of what each other has to do. We appreciate what developers go through. We appreciate what photography means and what good photography and bad photography is. It's easy to work because you're together, and it's one of the things that Marie pointed out is that being in the same classroom is super helpful, right? But the problem is that as a professor, we end up really only able to guide our students mainly in one area, and the other students that are doing other mediums suffer because they don't have someone who's an expert leading them. So I might say to my students, we're going to build this web page, and it's going to have photography on it, and a lot of us are going to shoot pictures. Well, I can certainly guide them in that. That's my background. But could I do maybe the website? Could I do the data journalism stuff? No, those people are going to be more on their own. And so I think the student suffers from that at the university level. And I think we do these big multimedia classrooms too much at the early stages, really, where the journalists are really too much of a beginner to really take advantage of working together. So when we talk about working across classes, I think there's some benefits in that. Certainly the quality of the journalism can be better. The students can be at higher level. They all have expert instructors who are helping them. And they're focusing on the benefits of the particular medium. Why are we using words? Why are we using 360 video? Why are we using social media, why are we using anything really? And to do that really, really well. The other benefit is that in the real world, when we work as real teams who have different needs and different deadlines and different personalities and different ethical goals, we mimic that situation much better, I think, if we come to it as a higher level of journalism than we might as a sort of beginner, the sort of multimedia intro class. And I think that as teachers, we will feel better about the product because we will have contributed writing at an expert level, or we will have contributed design or development at a very high level, rather than saying, well, the writing's pretty good, the design, we just didn't really have, a couple of the students knew a little bit from high school or something. So I think we all come out of it much, much better. So why don't we do this? We don't know each other, I think, in our departments well enough, so we need to reach out. It's very easy to get over that. We need to meet each other. We need to work well in advance. Scheduling is always a problem, but things like Slack, there's lots of tools that can help with that. Certainly I've worked with people that just think it's a total failure, and it's super hard because it is really hard. And the main, being able to actually produce something at the end is really, really difficult. And the reluctance to share ownership, I think we have to throw that out the window. We have to be sharing. And this is actually 1,004 individuals were on this gravitational thing that was just announced, this astronomy thing. So, just quickly, even if you're in a small journalism department and you don't have the diversity within, there are awesome places within your university with environmental science, local historians, hard science, religious studies, all kinds of places. And of course, outside of the university, you may not have a design program, but another university does and doesn't have anybody producing content. And so making connections like that can be really important. Study abroad or study away programs can be very helpful. And of course, there's a lot of great evidence, especially with Knight, with News 21, of students partnering with professional organizations as well. And that is all. I went 14 seconds over. Thank you.